So I just moved to Oxford. The move has been complete, and by the time you hear this, it will be 1 week in. But we're recording after 3 days, and I have been outside of the house for most of the time, which is good. I've been to all the famous spots in terms of like the colleges that everyone thinks is a must see. And Turf Tavern. And if you don't know what Turf Tavern is this very historic pub where there's a list of all the great people that have been there, or great people, just people who've done big things in their life, like Bill Clinton and all these other people are on this wall. And I was there and I had 2 drinks. So I've been to Turf Tavern. Um well yeah. It has rained a lot and it's been very windy. But so far, so good. I can already feel the smartness of the
Well said.
area. Yeah, I can feel the the boost to my AirPods just died. The boost to productivity
Oh,
and
your audio just cut off again.
yeah, great start.
I cannot. Oh, okay,
This
now I
is
hear you
great
again.
because now I think you're gonna like you when you talk, it's gonna come in through my mic because I'm playing on loudspeaker.
Well, let's check the
Unless,
line. Is it moving?
hmm?
Is the line moving as I speak?
No, but okay, we'll see.
Then maybe you're
Whatever.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Like I go to the library and I'm like, well, you have to study in a library like this. So yeah, it's been great. But what are we talking about today?
Well, I guess the idea of becoming desensitized to things that
Mm-hmm.
should maybe not be considered normal. So, my example was the idea that, everyone complains that there's a housing crisis and that rent is too high. And I agree because arguably 1,000 euros is a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, However, when I joined the system, that was pretty much what I'm paying. So it's almost like in my head, I've already accepted the fact that this much goes to rent. And yes, that is expensive, but it is how things are, I suppose, in the worst way of things. Um,
But okay,
and I
so
guess what it does is that it makes me struggle to actually imagine living in a better world.
a
I
better
guess that's the
world.
start point.
So you,
Yeah, because I think it would be wrong to stop fighting against it, and it's sort of like the others, the other outcome would be to be in a world with cheaper rent, which probably is ideal. However, to literally imagine, not having to pay what I currently pay just does not sit in my head.
mm, so just this idea of like things or bad things slowly becoming the norm because it gets worse, or that it stayed that way.
I don't know, it's just what I was introduced to. But I guess this is everything, right? Like
Yeah,
any connotation, any association you ever grew up with.
because like off the top of my head, I have like a couple of things that have become norm that were
Yeah?
like, or at least at the beginning, because this is like something that's just bad because it's inflation. But there are things that maybe might have started as a good thing and then just slowly became bad. Like for example, biggest one that comes to my head is streaming. Like when I was growing up, you just bought a cable subscription and you have access to like a list of channels, right? Like DSTV, we call it DSTV.
Hmm.
Um, and you have like sports, you have news, you have cartoons, you have movies, all on different channels. And then like slowly growing up, I think there was a switch around like at least for me it was around 2017, 18. We started getting to Netflix, and then now it's like everything is streaming. Even to watch sports, you have to pay a subscription. You have to pay a subscription for different streaming platforms that show different movies. Whereas before, like it was just one cable box and all the movies and whatever fight to be on that one cable, basically. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. Other thing would be like
That's
I
pretty
don't know.
good because I quite enjoyed the idea of going home and switching on the TV and then you know, you're picking around to see what's on and then when there's nothing good, you just, you settle for something and just the idea of that and like having the limited choices, having that already be associated with like relaxing and sitting on the couch, like it was a whole ordeal that just doesn't exist now.
Yeah, but at the beginning, it was a pain because if you missed your like, if you were like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, you already missed the beginning of the show that you wanted to watch. Like you
Yeah.
were operating on the time of the network provider, not on your own time. And so, like with the advent of Netflix, like it felt like you had more control because you didn't have to like rush home at a certain time to watch something, and you could pick what you wanted to watch. So you didn't have to stick to the program of the network provider. But now it's like if I want to watch this movie, it's only on Netflix this week, and then next week it's on Disney Plus. But now instead of okay, I just wait till it comes back to Netflix or something, which by the way would take longer than the schedule of a regular TV network of like okay, every Monday at 9 or every weekday at 9, whatever. It's now like you have to buy a whole nother subscription just to be able to watch a movie that you wanted to watch. So it's like something that started off like as a challenge to the status quo in a good way, ended up becoming the norm, and then in that norm ruins the initial thing that made it a good challenge to the status quo.
For me, I focus a lot more on the effects it has on how I feel towards things.
Mm,
So, which is why, like I mentioned the thing about the TV, I I like that whole, I don't know what you want to call it, but the whole thing, as
hmm.
opposed to just looking at like, oh yeah, okay, and now there's other subscriptions, but in my head now it's just a lot more volatile, whereas before it was a little more stable, I guess, in a sense.
But is that also like hindsight speaking for you, or like do you think if you were in that time right now and you were voicing your thoughts, it would be the same as you have right now, knowing what's on the other side and like knowing what happens in the future?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was too specific of an example. What were the other things that came to your mind?
Um, Meetings or like work, Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's another thing where like it started good, but so obviously this was all caused by the pandemic. Like hybrid work was not a real thing, I don't think, until
Mm.
2020, and then now
Yeah, it
everyone
really
you realize that
exploded.
a lot of the work you do you don't need to be in the office for. Um, you can do it on a Zoom call, and there were two things that made it so okay. You don't really need to be commuting all the time, and for people that commute that have a long commute, that was a lifesaver. And for people with families, also, you could stay home, take care of the kids while you work. But second thing also, then it made Zoom meetings a lot more of the regular. And so instead of maybe in person, you'd have one or two meetings because everyone needs to book the conference room of the office to have their meeting. You can just do a Zoom call. And so that made that like so normal that meetings became more of a standard than a thing that is you only have when necessary. And then the whole thing of like this is like a situation where we reverted to what was before, or we're starting to revert to what was before. Like I think I read an article where it was like Amazon are trying to get people back into the office, or like a lot of companies are trying to get people back into the office. It's like you're paying for that space, but everyone's like trying to do hybrid or like work from home, remote work. It's like okay, that's something that shifted.
Mm.
That if you asked me 5 years ago about it, I'd be like, that sounds foreign, but now it's like just normal.
But I must say, I think that's one of the positive things that have come out,
Yeah.
or like the positive examples of the situation,
Hmm.
because I had just attributed it to being like negative, everything we're about to say. So when you said this, I was a little bit like, oh, what's the bad side? What's the bad side? But then I was like, no,
Yeah.
I think it's made the world a little more accessible for more people and inclusive and
Yeah.
all these things, which is actually really cool.
Like for me, it wasn't a work thing, but it was a MUN. So we had an online MUN, and I've been in MUN since middle school, and I could tell the difference in an online MUN versus an in-person MUN, where a lot of people are a lot more confident because you're not in person as a delegate holding up your placard or like holding up your speech to talk. And also you have because so in regular MUN, you go there and you're fully prepared with everything. Like you're basically like searching up facts and stuff live during the conference is unheard of. Like you come with your own sheet of stuff to like be able to like think on the fly and like do work. Also, actually talking in front of like a buttload of people in person is very different from like on a Zoom call where you're in front of a computer. So people were a lot more engaging. I think I was the chair of like dissect, which is the disarmament committee. That's like already normally like a very brutal space to say the least, but people were a lot more talkative and engaging, and that's just because it was online, and so there's a lot less to lose. So that was a good positive change. I don't know how it is in actual workplace, but that is my experience from hosting an MUN during the pandemic.
That's so specific. I can't
It's just
relate
what I remember.
at all. I mean, fair enough, but I'm thinking of um, like what you said of, parents maybe being able to spend more time with their like children or
Yeah, but I wasn't
like
a parent.
yeah, I mean, for me, my mom was able to like sell her car, uh,
Mm,
and save a lot on gas, which yeah, is has all the perks for the planet and all of that. But it was a big load off of her shoulders, um, cost and like expense wise, which was pretty cool. Oh my god, there's a moth and I'm just why? Anyways,
do you have any negative?
oh, so all of mine are negative. Um, there are all the small things like that I think maybe get attributed more to like what people call culture shocks and things
Mm,
like that. When you asked me earlier before we recorded, and I said like, oh, the trust-based society, I was like, yeah, the idea of things actually working is kind of crazy. Like in our first year when we applied for the housing allowance from the government
mm-hmm.
and like actually getting it and having that be simple and seamless and actually seeing the money back on my account was so crazy. Like I could swear that any money that you paid to the government was just a myth, and
Yeah.
I don't know that maybe I'd always be too privileged in life to get subsidies, or
Mm,
at least that's what I thought of myself. You know that there are worse or something, and there's that, and it's like wow, huh?
yeah. Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah,
To see that that's more of a
good.
culture shock to you, as in like it's been a thing forever. You just are only getting used to it in moving to a new place. But I guess it does fall in the same category of same general category, but maybe like a different subcategory of like the other things that we talked about.
I suppose like people also just associate desensitize like this word to bad things, and I think that's probably the definition.
Mm.
To like lose feeling because of something, right? You had more?
Mm.
I mean, with housing is like cost of living that we just grew up in an expensive period. So this will always be what we know, kind of.
I don't know.
I wonder if
Like
that means like people will stop fighting for it one day.
fighting for what?
Things in general, but for instance, cost of living being too high. Like, would it happen that the future generations coming up are so accustomed to it already that they it doesn't clock in their head that this is something that should not be should is not right and should be
I
pushed
think
back against.
for them to feel normal to it, we our generation have to feel normal to it, right? So in order to like we would have to be so desensitized to it that when we raise our kids, we just tell them that's how it is, you know? I feel like the last generation had it a little bit better, and so like I think like maybe not millennials, but like Gen X or boomers,
No idea.
they all like have houses. And also this is just talking about the US market. They all own houses and stuff. And then it will get passed down to the people that will inherit from that, but it's a lot more of a globalized world than it was back then. And so a lot of people who are moving places that won't have access to that. And so they're also gonna argue and fight for rent control and so I think that's the biggest one of the biggest campaign points for this guy that's I don't know if you heard he's running for New York mayor
Mm.
and he's like his big thing is like or one of his big things is like rent control because like cost of living in New York is getting so expensive. I think the same thing with London, where like it's getting so expensive that it's like driving like regular people out because they're not able to afford living there. And then obviously then this comes with people blaming it on immigrants. Meanwhile, it's like I think the top 1% of the world owns like half of the entire world's money. It's like, okay, well, who's really the problem here? But I guess we're moving away from the topic. One of the things I just thought of was like, and this is kind of cliche, but like social media and like I think that's another thing that's become increasingly normalized. Like everyone does content now. A lot of people do content now just as a thing to do. And I only realized this when I was hanging out with a friend. Um, you would know her as Indomie Girl. um, and I think she told me to like open. I didn't have Instagram, but I downloaded it to see what she had been posted. We were having like lunch or something together, and she was just doing content like regularly. They're like promoting brands and doing stuff. And I realized like a lot more people do it. Maybe like just for doing it sake, because like you never know, you could blow up, make money, whatever. And that was never a thing for like before. Like okay, you'd only post to your friends because you only have like 100 followers, if that, maybe 30, because you only know 30 people in the real world. But now you have thousands, if not tens of thousands of followers, at least in some circles that I know. And that also
I
brings up
have
like the whole
that.
idea of the gig economy. It's like everyone now like doing a side hustle. So I'm like,
Mm.
I don't think that was a thing before. You just have one
Oh
job.
yeah, for sure. Like the amount and the things that people are doing, especially around our age as they're coming to the world, has just like become more and more and more, and it's become more and more normal that this is like what's going on. You know, before it was like kids just go outside and play, and you're a kid until you're what, like 21 or something.
Mm,
But now it's like every 12-year-old is writing a book, and I don't know,
yeah.
donating to charities, starting NGOs, and like
Like I'm helping my
um,
sister with like college applications. And she was talking about doing internships in high school. I'm like, when I was alive,
Jesus Christ.
that was not a thing. You didn't need to have a high school internship in order to get into a good college. But now it's like, yeah, that's what kids these days are doing. They're interning at something, something, doing anything. And now I'm seeing all these kids
Oh, that's
from my
so
high
sad.
school trying to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm like, I didn't have a LinkedIn in high school. They're connecting and then they're posting
I
like
also got one
looking
from
for
like
opportunities and this. I'm like, bro, you're literally like 17 or
I know, and
15.
like your high school diploma is on your LinkedIn,
It's
like,
crazy.
and you're not even done. Yeah, I had that like really early on, like just after I got my LinkedIn. I think someone from my old high school was like connecting with me, and I was like, one, I don't know who you are, and I'm like, two, like, what I was, yeah. I have another example that's actually come up in my coursework.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a little more how do you say, like biological. The idea of like humanity and humans and all the species before have essentially lived in scarcity, right?
Hmm.
So your bodies are tuned to like hoard and store and be addicted to like high caloric foods, things that are like high fat,
Hmm.
high carb or something, because you don't know when your next meal is going to be, you don't know when you'll get something again or something like that. But now we're very much in like an age of excess,
Hmm.
and it could be said that primitively that switch hasn't been made yet. Yes, also like greasy food smells good and you just want it even though you just eat it, whatever. But I think like in your head there's a part of you that is addicted to sugar, addicted to fast food, because you're just like constantly chasing this need to hoard basically,
Hmm.
and with probably stuff and things, and any outlook you have in life with money, with uh yeah, money is what I can think of, with toilet paper during the pandemic, I don't know.
Yeah. And then you think of the consequences of like stuff like this, and you see how like that has also changed the norm of a lot of other things. So like the advent of fast food and blah 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 blah. Now a lot more people go to the gym than I feel like used to. some time ago. That might also have to do with social media and the influencer lifestyle. But so yeah, those things could go in hand. Um, it's just a regular thing that yeah that we have now than it was before. Because if you think about it, nobody in our parents' generation really goes to the gym. But I would guarantee you, like maybe half of our generation, maybe a little less, but just the fact that there's a lot more than the previous generation that go to the gym. It's like, oh,
But the
something
thing is,
else had
okay,
to have changed to cause this change. But yeah,
we're both in a very broad bubble together where we're coming from the continent of Africa. Like, regardless of your parents' background or situation, right?
mm,
It's like that's what you grew up with pre 18, even less for you. And then now, when you're like also conscious of these things, here's because I definitely cannot say the same for any of my peers because I don't know the situation. Like, maybe their parents are going to the gym, but at least my viewpoint that something like the gym is a luxury. It's not, bare
no,
essentials. And
but they're
growing up,
going.
we only had that in IKEA.
They're
Huh?
going now. I'm just saying when
Yeah.
they were our age, they weren't. That wasn't the thing. I don't think.
Ah, when they were our age, they were going to the gym. I mean, they were working out, no?
I don't know. Maybe there was no need to. Maybe they didn't live such a sedentary lifestyle. You
Yeah,
know,
but
it's
like
like
people
the
always
advent
wanted
of
to
run
look good, no?
clubs and going on Strava and like there's basically a social media for running. Isn't that crazy to you? Like, would you ever thought that existed?
I mean, what if it's yeah, okay, that is insane. But if it isn't like bad,
No, it doesn't have to
just
be a
like
bad thing. It's
promoting.
just
No,
something
I know,
that's
but
so different.
I'm genuinely asking. Like, I'm trying to figure out like how this has affected people and what are the traverse effects, or if it's too early to have any yet.
I don't think it's particularly bad, and I don't think it matters if it's particularly good or bad. It's just the fact that it's so different. Like
It
when I was a
is.
kid, I
It
thought we'd
is.
have flying cars. That was the
True.
only
Me
thing I
too.
knew about the future
Me too.
was flying
Flying
cars.
car,
I don't know why
or at
that's such a
least
thing
like,
though. Like
or I to a lesser extent, with like hover packs. I believe that's what
hover,
they're called. Hover packs, hover
I don't know
bags. I
what
don't
that
know.
is.
Like a like you
Jetpack.
flying a jetpack. Jetpack, yeah,
Mm,
sure. Hoverboard became a whole different thing, but
yeah.
maybe hoverboards are supposed to be, well, they're a bad attempt at what
Hmm.
our generation imagined.
Like in some ways, I feel like the world really hasn't changed much from when I was a kid. And like if I compare it relative to like my expectation, but then you look at it for its absolute value, like in reality, and it's like okay,
Mm,
we still have changed a whole lot. Like I have like four computers with me at all times, basically phone, laptop, AirPods. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
yeah.
Whereas before, like I was watching this video of like old cars, and the cars had a phone in the car, and that was considered a luxury because it was mobile. That was a mobile phone because it was in your car versus like on the wall in your house. I don't know.
I think another thing is that maybe it's made me also a little bit like it's made me lose perspective on sometimes the choices that I make.
Mm,
Because say let's take this example that I walk out the house with four like mega computers
mm,
on hand at all times. To me the options are either have everything or probably like take off one thing, or maybe like, be all cool and take my actual camera instead of my phone, and that's like the switch I make. Whereas I just forget entirely that the option to take nothing and go out is also one
mm,
that is available that I can pick. And then link that to me not knowing what I like and what I prefer. Because again, in the choice of, oh, do I take my phone or my camera, I'll make like one there, but I won't be able to actually compare it to the fact that, oh, maybe I actually just don't like taking anything, you know,
mm.
and lose that sense of, a little bit like lose that sense of self, I suppose.
So if you had a list of things that you would want to denormalize now that you are
Ooh.
aware of the normalization effect, that's what we're gonna call it. Um, what would you?
Education always comes to my head first. Just the like sheer amount of money that my mom spent on education when
Mm,
we were growing up, and then like you come here and you find out that these Europeans are paying 2,000, I don't know, for their their university degree, and they're or so starting off their life by being able to like work and pay for themselves when they leave
mm,
the house, and that's sort of the normal that I expected growing up, but was very much not the one I'm in.
mm.
Like something like that. But I don't always want to just think of systemic issues. I want to think of fun, dumb things. What about you?
Um, there's so many things that I'm thinking of right now. Like being bored, I think should come back.
Yes.
Like when was the last time you heard someone tell you that they're bored? You know,
I thought I had this like crisis. I have this crisis a couple times
of
a
being
year.
bored or not
No,
being.
of like, oh, I need to be bored. I have to feel bored. Again, like, and then I make it a point to sometimes like tell people, but no, I've not heard it from people. But then, I've got friends like you who, if you are bored, you just self entertain. It's not like you make it my burden, but I make it when I'm bored, I make it other people's bored
Yeah,
burden, and that's where I get like my fun out of
yeah.
it. Even when I was like a kid, you'd be like, "Oh my god, I'm so bored,"
Mm-hmm.
and you text that to your friend, and therefore you share that. But now
Yeah. Like the
people
only
just deal
times
with it.
I hear I'm bored is from my sisters and it's when my parents don't allow them like on their phone or the TV. Or that they've
Of
spent so
course.
much time watching that they don't have anything else to watch on Netflix that interests them, which is also equally crazy. Like, yeah, I think we should normalize being bored again. That's my number one thing. Yeah, maybe also normalize. I think this started from a very early age for me in middle school, where like it was cool to be stressed or like burnt out because it means you're like you worked hard and you're a grinder and studying and you're locked in, just locked in culture. Also, you don't
Oh,
need to be
just
locked
the
in 24
stupid
seven.
locked in. In the library the other day, I heard like these two Dutch people go like in locker because that's how you conjugate verbs
Mm,
in Dutch, and it's like, oh yeah, because anything you do, you add en to the end of it. So
mm,
eten to like eat or
mm-hmm.
drinker to eat, and then it was like in locker to lock in, and I was like, Jesus Christ,
I think lock-in
oh my
culture is
god.
something that also needs to be denormalized. Just normalize being regular and trying your hardest and not trying to lock in or
But maybe
think
that's
like
what it's just maybe to lock in is like just symbolic of that. Like the idea is still to I don't know, work hard, keep it up, be dedicated. But
no.
now they shorten it to a word that gets people in that state,
Yeah,
and
but a lot
I
of
don't
time
know.
it's associated with like that Patrick Bateman lifestyle, of like everything meticulously planned, no this, no that, no that, like 75 hard, 30 hard, 90 hard, all these X number of days hard challenge. I don't know. That needs to be denormalized. That's not a real thing. That's not how you live life. You can't live life as a series of internet challenges. That's what you should denormalize.
Man, that was huge during the pandemic. Sorry, I just watched a movie that was based in the pandemic, so it's very much on my mind.
Oh, what movie? That was all
Eddington.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two things. I
Did you
think.
ever fall suspect to the whole like I don't know 30-day plague challenge or
No, I never. When I was
really?
in actually in 11th grade, which was also height of pandemic, I think there was this thing where like each day of the year you do a number of push-ups for that day. So by the end of the year, you're doing 100, 365 push-ups a day. I think I got to like
Jeez.
maybe day 30 something. Not that I can do more than 30 push-ups at a time. it was just like I just realized like what the fuck am I doing? This is obviously like there are some benefits to it, but I just didn't like the idea that I'm living my life
Hmm.
like in accordance with an internet challenge. It's not like I was posting it to get views. I was just doing it in my bedroom. Like, okay, let's stop that.
I realized, well, my mom told me this, but from quite an early age, I was pretty good at keeping streaks
Mm.
for anything. Like, this is obviously a very
Wow, what's your deal? Tell
urbanized
brag about
jargon,
your
right? To have a
Duolingo streak.
streak. No, but like
Subtle
when I was younger,
brag about your
no,
Duolingo streak.
when I was younger, my mom found some like night exercises. That's what we called it. It was like a very simple kind of workout that was a mix between like cardio and yoga, I guess.
Mm,
When I was very very young, and before I knew about like fads and things, that was like, oh, do it every day for a year or something, and we do it together. It would take maybe like 30 minutes every night.
mm-hmm,
Um, and for some reason, I kept it up for the whole year, like with absolutely no reason to, and it looked so stupid, and it wasn't even proper exercise. It was just weird movements, with a few sets or something, and uh, it happened. I don't know why, but it was exactly a year. And then my mom stopped like within a month, but she saw me every day still doing it at the same time in her room or whatever, uh, and that's when she first commented like, "Oh, you're really good at streaks," or something like now, with Duolingo, and I'm realizing streaks are sometimes so stupid because if you outgrow the person that you are when you needed it, or like your environment's changed, then the
mm.
streak is pointless to you, and then it crosses the threshold and becomes a burden, like what Duolingo is now.
Second case in
Um,
point, Snapchat streaks. I don't know if you ever had that in middle school and high
oh,
school. Yeah,
jeez, yeah.
it really
I
became
imagine that I still have friends that are keeping this.
good streak. Yeah.
I imagine you were a Snapchat streak person.
Only with a couple of people. And my sister tried to start one with me because she's in that phase of like middle school snap streak. Guys, let's get to 100. No, no,
Be Real was one though
I was never on Burial.
that was streak promoted. What else is now streak promoted? Oh, like the adult version was like Wordle, I think,
Oh yeah, Wordle was the
was
thing. Daily
was
Wordle,
streak.
Daily
Um,
Wordle.
yeah, and now still probably the whole New York Times
I haven't
games
done a Wordle in so
cross.
long.
I quite often
What
see
was your
people do like
Wordle starter?
connections.
What would
My
you start
Wordle
with?
starter.
Like, do you
Oh,
have a
I
word that you
would
start with?
use ado, like adieu. I
Uh,
bid you adieu, adieu. That's the word.
I
But that was
always.
kind of a cheat.
I didn't know that. I always use
Well, because it
other and
had the most
nails.
vowels.
Huh?
It had the most vowels.
Mm. I use other and nails because I think it gets out a good amount of vowels and consonants.
Other nails. Sometimes I did heart, but I think that was someone else told me that one. Are you doing it?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll do it too. But then it was like so stupid because then they switched websites or something, and then I didn't know what happened after. Reject all, play. Let me see if your name works. Wouldn't that be funny? Nope, sorry.
Oh, I got it in four.
Uh,
And that was with other and nails. Let's see if you can do better with adieu. But yeah, while she does that, let me talk about some other things that need to go
oh,
and be
yeah.
denormalized. Um, what could I say? Mm, yeah, so burnout, boredom, ooh, sleep. I guess that also works with burnout. Like some people were like, "Oh, yesterday I only slept for like 4 hours," and you like like obviously the outward connotation is that oh like this is bad, but I think implicitly everyone is like try to beat that kind of thing. Like look at me, I was so productive, I only slept 4 hours type of thing. I don't know if that's such a big thing now, but I remember that starting to be
Oh, yeah, for
normalized
sure.
at a certain
Damn it.
You didn't get it?
I did, but it took 5.
Oh, it was plain. What was your progression?
Plain?
What did you have? Yeah.
The award was plain?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have
Mine
plain.
was mine was
Are they different now?
Is it because I'm in a new day and you're like
Oh yeah. Okay, you can't tell that to me yet.
Oh my god. I think because of Caleb's time difference that he's still in yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh my
I didn't
god.
even know they did it like that, but I guess that makes sense.
No, but it used to be a fixed time. I remember it was like 2 in the morning or something.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my god. Wait, that would be okay. Mine was well, no, I don't want to
You
spoil
can't
it in
tell it. No,
case.
you can't say it. I would say mine. It
Yeah,
was
okay.
other nails clean plain. So not bad.
Mine was I pretty quick. Like by the second one, I already had like 3 fixed letters,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was just a matter of finding the consonants, and it
Mm.
took quite a few combinations for me to get it.
Do you
But
know
yeah,
one
okay,
thing that
sweet.
I realized when I got here is how I became so normal for me not seeing that many cars on the road.
Oh, yeah. I don't know much about Oxford, but it's like you don't leave it, right, or something. Like it's all in one
Yeah,
place.
but there is still a lot of cars on the road, and the
Okay.
buses are massive. Like I
Oh
feel
yeah.
scared crossing the street.
Yeah, because it is a huge vehicle and
Yeah,
it's very life threatening. I feel like, do you know what? Actually, cars are way too normalized. Like, this thing
yeah,
is so big, so
yeah.
dangerous. There needs to be bigger barriers to allow people to control them
Hmm. I feel like I would
because
never
what do you
realize
mean
that if I
anymore?
didn't live in the Netherlands for
I
three
would
years.
not have realized if I wasn't such a terrible driver.
Right.
And like, just me alone, like when I'm on the road,
Hmm.
I've told you all of this, but like I have really bad spatial awareness and perception, and uh I panic really easily, and I can't drive with any distractions, and I react badly. I have a bad what's it called, like the reaction time,
Mm,
etc., etc., etc. The list goes on and on and on, and I should not have been allowed to get my license at 16.
mm. Okay.
But yeah.
What things would you? We've talked about things that you would denormalize that have been normalized. What about the opposite? What are things that aren't normalized yet that you think should be normalized? Does that make sense?
Oh, so many things.
So you said like cars, no cars.
Cars, like it should be a bigger deal to like allow people have them on the road.
I don't think
It's like
it's.
get their license to
I never
drive,
understood how
basically.
a 16-year-old was allowed to legally drive in some countries. 16.
Exactly. Like no.
That's crazy.
Uh, I mean, these topics just overlap so much with other things. I could say like 4-day work week again, but no.
Um,
Or healthier diets. Sorry, I'm doing food at uni right now, so
oh, same. I
the
haven't gotten
nutrition transition.
my stuff, my cooking stuff yet. So today I ordered lunch and dinner. I ordered Wagamamas and Nando's.
Wagamamas? You went
Yeah.
all the way to the UK to get Wagamamas.
Um,
Was it better than the one here?
I never got Wagamamas in Amsterdam.
Oh, me neither. Okay, great. So you went there to get something you could get here. How's Nando's?
Oh, it was good. This is what I got here. It was a recommendation from a friend. It's good. It was the Fino Pita.
Okay, that does not exist in South Africa.
I guess not. Yeah, it's good. It's good food. And then I had that with spicy rice. Last time I had a regular chicken pita with mac and cheese on the
Really?
side.
Oh, pizza. No, I'm not sure. Oh, mac and cheese, definitely no. I thought you were gonna like try out the canteen thing.
No, they don't. They don't. They're not open on weekends.
Oh, that's inconvenient.
Yeah, but also like, what's really the real inconvenience is that I don't have kitchen appliances until Wednesday because IKEA takes forever
Oh,
to
you
ship.
ordered it?
Yeah, because the place that was here in person, I would have spent like 40 to 50 euros more on stuff because it's, I guess, fancier.
You're like accustomed to all the systems there already.
What
The
system?
I don't know, everything, paying in pounds, how you go grocery shopping, how you
I
buy
haven't been
things, where
able
to
to
look
go
for
grocery
them.
shopping, but I've been to the Sainsbury's and I've been to Tesco's, and I'll tell you, I didn't realize how good the layout of a Jumbo and Albert Heijn, or how intuitive they are, because
Yeah,
this does not make sense to me.
yeah. And they're all so different.
And so I struggled
And
to
I
find
think,
rice because there was minute rice, and then they didn't have a regular rice next to it, or there was like pasta sauce and they didn't have the pasta next to it. It was bad.
oh, yeah, oh, if I could have things that are standardized, but I know that standardizing brings boring, but sometimes it would scratch that itch in my brain that would just make it
Mhm.
happy. Like if all grocery stores were standardized, so that every single time you went into one, you would know like
Exactly.
where to go. Yeah, these things are super orderly here in the Netherlands.
But yeah, we'll get used to it.
And the bus and the weather and the clothes,
The weather I
everything.
know will be similar. That at
And the
least I know will stay constant.
people. Have things just been fine? You just take the difference in your stride.
You kind of have to. Yeah.
Okay, you find something that you would normalize.
Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I only know things to denormalize, not things to normalize. So I'm more of a backwards thinker than a forward.
I do quite a few things that I wish were normalized. Oh, okay, most recently probably the whole sleepover spiel I gave you.
Um, okay, if we're talking about that, then not having, oh yeah, not having an Instagram. I always get bad looks whenever.
Ugh, you sound a little bit like a pick me person, like,
Oh
ugh,
my
I don't have an
god. See,
Instagram. It's just
exactly.
totally be normal.
Normalize that.
I don't have it either, so
Normalize just not having social media.
yes, I think
It's fine for people to not have an Instagram. You don't have to be like, oh my
yes, it
god,
is
are you
very
weird?
normal.
No, it's not. Not right now.
Choose something else.
I don't have anything else. Normalize not posting everything. Oh no, that's the same thing as having a social media.
Yeah, well done. I think sometimes I don't know if this exists everywhere, but sometimes people are a little bit sensitive to the truth, which okay, I know it's duh, but like if you're late or you don't want to come, you should. I wish people would just say it, and then other people would just take it as fine because I've been on like both sides, and then you like lie out of courtesy, or you get upset because they're not there. But I think yeah, if people are just like yeah, life happens, sure, and then made it normal to just tell the truth, and there isn't this whole dance you have to dance each time.
Okay, that's a good one. I don't have anything else. So yeah.
Do you have closing remarks?
Look to your left and look to your right. Look up and look down. And think to yourself, is there anything I do that I wouldn't do?
No, I thought you were gonna say like, oh, and then be bored or something.
Oh yeah, see, you ruined it now. Be bored.